Welcome to Fourth and John Quarantine Stream Live, aka Sunday Dinner. Here with the gentlemen, boys, just hanging out Sunday, talking about Eagles like we always do, 24/7, right, dudes? So far, Evan, how are you doing today, man?
I've had some better news this week. I mean, there was a concern I had that I had put out into the ethos earlier this week where I said I'm a little bit nervous about what I'm seeing about Andre Dillard come this during this whole training camp, and lo and behold, the next day goes down with a season-ending injury. So we'll get to that.
I finally finished my move. It's been crazy. Shout out to Trox. This guy is the MVP over here because showed up with truck. No, don't ever try to move during a pandemic. If I could give any advice, but Trox came through and helped save the day.
My man.
Big
That's
clutch.
what I do. I help my people out.
How you doing, Trox? How calves are all right? Arms are all right?
Yeah, the one shoulder was a little sore the next day, but it was all right. I went golfing that afternoon, and I got.
We don't need to put you on the pup.
Stretched it out. Yeah, no pup. I can toughen it out. You know what I mean?
No IR for you.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
no
how
IR for me. I'm not injured.
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing great. Got about this much rope left, though, before I blow a gasket with all these injuries, though. Let's keep it real. I was losing my mind last week about the Sixers. Now the Flyers got me feeling a certain way, but I'm doing good, brother. Thanks for having me on tonight, man.
Puga, a surprise visitor for tonight.
What's going on, guys?
Just jumped off the top rope. He's like, "Yo, what's going on?" And here you are on the show, all the way from El Paso.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. I think I can understand what you guys are saying with all these injuries going on. It's a bit concerning, but the season's starting pretty soon, so got to take precautions. But we'll see how everything turns out.
Now, I mean, obviously, the injuries right off the bat is the number one on a lot of people's minds. Our first round pick from last year, Andre Dillard, injured, out for the season. Rager just goes down today with a shoulder. It's a shoulder, right? Is that what they're saying?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's 4 weeks possibly, which means
that's being like that.
It
That's being
it
hopeful.
says it's about 3 to 4 weeks, but it's probably
Is that
double that.
Deshaun Jackson time, or is that what?
So on Twitter today, I was just like, I normally put on 1 to 2, 3 weeks extra on an injury report, so I don't have to hurt my feelings when they don't come back on the normal day. So just imagine probably a week after the said date, because you never know with these injuries. So on a scale of 1 to 10, right off the bat, guys, how are you guys feeling about the injury bug right now?
The injury bug with Jalen Rager, or just the injury bug that seems to come back every single season and we can't shake it? Is that what you're talking about?
Whole squad.
Whole squad. Nervous. I'm at an 8.5 right now.
8-5?
8.5.
Puga, where you at?
Yeah, I have it. I'm at about a 9 with that. That offensive line is very concerning.
Jimmy?
Told you I'm about at 10. I'm going to be real with you. I have had enough. And to be real, we talked about this. This is something we've talked about on this show. Hey, look out for the injuries. They're going to happen. It doesn't matter how much you prepare for it. I'm still pissed off, and I'm pretty concerned because a lot of our key players are getting hurt here.
Trox, where you at?
Dude, I'm at a 5 because I'm so used to it. I'm not getting excited. We go through this crap every freaking year, dude. It's like, come on, man. I mean, it's being a Philadelphia fan. That's what we're used to. Nothing's easy. Everything's hard. We got to be, already in the hole before we even start. It's like, come on. Don't get me started on the medical staff, bro. Don't get me started. Soft tissues, I hear that word. I immediately put fingers at them. But you know what? I don't know, dude. We're going to get a lot of this with the COVID. We already talked about this. So
I'm gonna go.
There you go.
Oh, God.
And the thing is that it's not even obviously there's always injuries in training camp. That in any football camp there's bad injuries, but I think the concern level really has to do with obviously we have injuries and I'm concerned, but the whole situation, how like these players aren't really up to speed like they normally would in camp. Like they would have started in OTAs and been like ready to go. They had like a couple scrimmages under their belt. Now we got a game in 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like a
real game.
A lot of the players have been taking these maintenance days. The veterans have been like, taking a day. Lane Johnson is off here and there. Miles Sanders isn't really in right now. Like, obviously, we're getting to see younger guys perform in practice, but like, how are these bodies going to last through the season? Obviously, they're pro athletes. We get that, but the soft tissue injury thing could be a thing. Sidney Jones, the guy that we were looking for him to come in and compete. Sidney Jones has been kind of here and there, out and there. Like, they're bringing in other guys to take reps. So, it's a concern.
I think cue the horn, fellas.
We scored.
We have a goal, fellas.
We have a goal. Okay. Okay. We got you. We're doing that hockey.
Go.
Is this what you guys do in hockey, yo?
Every time. And we listen to the whole song. We're going to sit here and listen to the whole.
Nah, we're already done, right?
Yeah.
10 seconds too long.
Surprise, motherfucker.
All right. Enough of doing that hockey. All right. This guy, he's got the bug.
Yeah, that's song.
There he is.
He really fell in love with the squad this year, man.
Yeah.
Yo, that song is terrible, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, man.
But shout out to the Flyers fans out there who are enjoying their hockey.
Who are allowed to enjoy their hockey.
And shout out to Luke, who's watching the hockey at a bar right now. We're gonna do the show and rep for you, my brother. He was on the show last week. That hockey got me off topic.
Yeah, no, we were in the middle of talking about the injury bug, and I was just about to get to the point of, like, the most disappointing thing with all of this is the fact that we saw it coming. It's almost as if we were walking right into a buzzsaw. For months we've been talking about COVID's going to mess everything up, and these guys aren't going to have the time to prepare. They're not going to have the preseason games. We can expect some soft tissue injuries. Well, lo and behold, that's exactly what's happening. And it's like when you actually see the names that are affected by this, that's when you really start to get concerned by it. Because you know it's going to happen, but you're thinking in the back of your head, all right, well, hopefully it ends up happening to a bubble guy, a back of the roster guy, if it has to happen to somebody. When it start happening to your starters, and then when you throw in the monkey wrench, that thank God we kept Jason Peters around, man.
I mean,
they throw in the monkey wrench of our left tackle being out for the whole season.
I mean, throw some respect on man's name. JP coming to the rescue.
Kinda. Can we call it that yet?
Sorta.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
The man wants a little extra cash money in his pocket. How are we feeling about JP asking for extra money in his pocket?
Pay the man his money. His money.
I think JP is honestly a smart businessman that understands his leverage in this situation. If I'm being honest, yeah. I think it's like, from the fan perspective, I view it as like, come on, dude, like, you've been with us for a decade now, and you can't, like, you realize the situation that we're in, and you can't just like throw us a bone and help us out here. But I mean, he might have his agent in his ear talking dollars. And ultimately, he has the leverage in the situation. We need a tackle. He's an experienced Hall of Fame tackle. That's what it is.
He's on the hook. We talked about this. He's on the hook. They should negotiate this before he signed his contract. Hey, you want me to come in as guard? But what if you need me at tackle? There should have been a clause in there. That's his own fault.
Hey, Trox, wait 1 second. Say it to his face, bro. Say it to his face.
Yo, brother, that you better fire your agent, bro. You should have had a clause in there in case you had to go move the tackle position, bro. You know how the musical chairs of an offensive line we have right here, man. You know you were going to play tackle at some point this year. That's you and your agent's fault, bro. Play football and stay out of EC.
Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. Like Troxer said, it's exactly the point we were talking about. before the show. He should have had something worked out beforehand. Try to look at it from his perspective. Sure, he's playing left tackle, and he does have us in a bind right now because, what we're going to talk about a little bit later, with who we're seeing there at left tackle, we're in a big bind. So it looks like, as much as it sucks with our cap situation next year, we might have to pay him, man, because we need a left tackle and we need someone we can rely on. And I'm not saying it's necessarily him because he's older, he gets hurt. So make it incentive laden. He's got to actually stay healthy to get that money, and then it works out for both of us.
Fuga, how are you feeling, man?
Yeah, you know what? At this point, why not pay him? You obviously know how good he is at that position. So, why not just give him his money and let's roll.
I say if you're gonna do some incentive laden, like if you can make it, you can earn as you go. But in the green, JT says pay him. If Josh Sweat is abusing our other options, then it's the only move. Interesting.
Yeah.
But in the green,
how much money do we have on the cap? Anybody know what we got on the cap?
24 around.
Still 24? Up
there. Yeah, around there. Yeah.
In our green room, we have Chris from Eagles News Now. How are you doing today, my friend? Bringing him into the stream. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel right now. He is killing it right now. Great content, Eagles content all day, every day. And I just heard through the grapevine you had a 20-minute rant. What were you ranting about?
Yeah. Look, first off, first time, long time, man. I absolutely have loved 4th and John. It was actually E-Rock that got me thinking about doing this. I work in professional wrestling on the independent level. I've done some stuff at WWE, and one of the things I'm really good at is talking shit. So, I'm like, well,
you're in the right place.
Yeah, hey, and why not take two passions and put them together? So yeah, I went on this rant. I don't know if you guys have talked about it yet, but about it. Just the injuries are absolutely killing my mojo. Every time I try to get excited for this year, and this year has been ridiculous as far as just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. I woke up today and I really needed good news after hearing about the Black Panther passing away. I really needed, I needed something good. And when I saw the link and I saw the team at the link, I said, man, it doesn't get any sweeter than this. Took my family to the beach to get some school shopping done. Made the mistake of looking at the Twitter feed. And what do we got?
Ruined your whole day.
The most electric and exciting player on this team, in my opinion, ends up getting hurt. When I saw that, it just absolutely made me sick. It's really frustrating. And yeah, I couldn't help myself but get that off my chest.
I think when you have a new present, or on Christmas Day, you want to open that new present and watch it rip, and just to hear that Jalen Reagor might not come back until week 2, maybe week 3 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back, is he going to be 100%, or are they going to be rushing him back?
Does it linger?
And then it could turn into a year-long thing, like how Deshaun Jackson could have just had that surgery last year.
Please don't say that ever. Please don't say that ever again. Please.
Try to piss me off.
Yeah, I'm frustrated.
The reality of the situation.
I'm frustrated all around. When I heard the Carson Wentz, the words that were used, he has a soft tissue injury. The first thing I think about when I hear soft tissue is last year hearing about Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson before the Atlanta Falcons game, that they both had soft tissue injuries. And obviously it's probably not going to turn into that. They just didn't want Wentz behind that line that is like a turnstile right now. But it's still it's not a good feeling. And it's insane, man. People say 2020, it's 2020 strikes again. No, this has been happening since 2017 for this team. We can even go back to, I believe, 1991 when Randall Cunningham got injured on that team that was supposed to go all the way. It's unreal. I know it probably happens to every team, and we're just in this bubble of the Philadelphia Eagles and don't see it. But, man, it just sure the hell seems like somebody that has something in for us. It's bad.
Yeah.
So
go
ahead.
This city honestly feels like a black hole for injuries, man.
Oh, man.
It's it almost doesn't even matter the sports team. You look
Right.
across the board.
Yep.
Sixers, their first round picks have been plagued by injury for the past years. Eagles, this city. What is it? Is it something in our water?
Are we
Makes our tissues soft?
Is it? Do they build
Water,
like
in the
this
water.
on like a burial ground or some shit, like some
Yeah.
sacred burial
Yeah.
ground? So now we're
Yes.
like haunted by
Oh.
the memories of I don't know, some tribe or some shit. Like, I mean, it's to the point where you're like, really, dude? Like, is this what we're dealing with? Ben Simmons gets injured,
Oh man.
and then now it's moving over into our Eagles. But I don't know, man. We got to do something.
I
But
think I
mean,
got a
it's not gonna
semi-cure.
bite,
And
Hear me out on this, all right? I think I have a cure for the issues. Since we went to the link for training camps, this stuff has happened more. They need to get their asses back to Lehigh and beat the shit out of each other at camp like they used
Yeah.
to. That's the only,
Yeah.
let's get prison tough again. Let's not, let's not be on probation and get soft tissue injuries. Let's go back and beat the shit out of each other in camp. That's how I look at it, but it'll never happen. That's just the NFL now.
And that's an excellent
wrong,
point.
maybe?
Because, yeah, that's an excellent point because these guys used to beat the shit out of each other at Lehigh. Now they're barely practicing and still getting hurt.
New
It's,
CBA, man. It just
Oh,
makes
it's
it.
nuts.
yeah, I mean, they're not getting game ready, and especially this year more than any others, the time that you need to get game ready.
Yeah.
Week
yeah,
one,
but-
these guys, like, I'm really interested and intrigued to see across the board, across the NFL, what the injury list is going to look like after week one, because it's going to be loaded.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of injuries. Like, we're not the only team dealing with injuries. Gerald McCoy got injured on a freak
Derwin
injury.
James.
Derwin James just got injured, I believe, a meniscus. But I guess so. Some positives here. Big Fish Little Boat from YouTube says the defense looks nasty, and a guy in camp that's been really making some heads turn. One of my guys that I said was my breakout player, Josh Sweat. Is anyone else in this room sweating Josh Sweat? People in the comments, I'd like to know how you guys are feeling about Josh Sweat. I think a lot of guys have been having a hard time blocking Josh Sweat off the edge. Mailata's been getting abused. Dillard, before he got hurt, was getting abused. So I think another guy got signed recently, but Giannis Ngakoue was out there. But is Josh Sweat the reason why the Eagles don't make this move for Yannick if Josh Sweat is killing it in camp?
That's really something that I considered and hadn't really even thought about, because I had been so blinded by the big names. I had been so blinded by, Yannick Ngakoue, Everson Griffin, when those guys were out there. And I thought to myself, man, it'd be so Clowney. It would be so nice to have any of those guys on this team. And then I saw how Josh Sweat is really just popping off. It doesn't matter who you put opposite of him. Like he's just getting around everybody this year in camp. And I think the coaches might be looking at him, considering he's set for to break out this season. And, you can keep that cap number real low. He's on a rookie deal.
Yeah. If I can say, I hope that's not the reason. That Josh Sweat is not the reason why they didn't go out and get a stud like Yannick Ngakoue, I'm sorry. But I am on the Josh Sweat train. His name in high school, his nickname was actually Baby Clowney, I believe. The measurables are kind of there. He didn't have a bad season last year for minimal snaps. But the fact that they passed on getting a guy like Yannick is unreal. I hope Josh Sweat's not the reason why. And look, our offensive line is not the best right now, so it's hard to measure if he's really that good or playing that well, or if the offensive line just looks like a bunch of kindergartners trying to block a high school team.
That's definitely a factor of it. I mean, Jack Driscoll, he was originally taking third team snaps when training camp started. This guy's all of a sudden taking first team snaps and getting worked by first team defenders. So
it's Sweat's journey to this moment. Like, the dude has been, he was one of the top players coming out of high school. Almost like his knee injury was really bad to the point that they were like, we don't think you. Weren't they talking about amputating his knee?
Yep.
It was pretty scary. Yeah.
Yep.
So for the fact that he was was going to be one of those top draft prospects, and then he gets, he's still dealing with lingering knee issues through his college career, and then gets drafted by us in the fifth round. He's got some promise, and I think he's super hungry, and that's what we need from him right now.
Yeah.
And it's always good to have depth at the defensive line also. So
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah, we
going,
need edge rushers.
going back real quickly, because we had just mentioned how he was working Dillard before Dillard got injured. What is your guys' level of concern for the fact that not only that we're not going to have Dillard, but this is also going to be minus another year of his development?
Exactly. That's not good at all.
It's my
I mean,
same
we needed
opinion
to
on
know who was going to be the left tackle of this team for the future, and we
Right.
used a first round pick on him. So
Exactly.
it's not
So
good.
do you think that in the future we're going to have to start shopping around?
I think next
for
year
another
Prince
tackle?
Winogo is going to give him a run for his money. I think that kid could be the future at left tackle. Not this year, but I think with a lot of work he could get there. But him and Driscoll, I'm very intrigued by, and this is going to push them. We might find out sooner than later about these guys. You know,
Trox, you were saying?
Evan, if that happens, someone's head better roll. That's once again a failed first round draft pick.
Yep.
Can you put up that? Can you put up that Jason Peters picture again that you put of him? Not just him, the one of him on the field.
The one of him on the field.
This guy?
Yeah. Okay, look in the background on that hoodie. There's another failed draft pick. That is all you're gonna. That's the most action you're gonna see from that guy all season,
Oh,
dude. That is
God.
another one of the failed draft picks we got right there.
Oh,
Like, come
man.
on. I want to think these guys are going to turn out. But like I've said before, I've been on the record. I don't trust any draft pick. I don't trust any player until they're on the field and prove it. Dillard hasn't proved nothing yet. All I've seen. Yeah, this is how we do it, right? Yeah, this is how we lose players and wasted draft picks. Oh, I'm on a full circle. How you doing, fellas?
Hey,
I am
go
not
in.
injured.
Go in,
You want
Trox.
to rant right now?
Yeah, go in.
I am not injured, but my brain is injured from this football team. It is such a cluster, and I'm not Karen. And if I see a Karen, I'll say something to her. But that I don't know, man. It sucks. It really does. We can't draft people, so that's my opinion on it. I can never fully get hype anymore about a draft pick.
I think
Trox, yeah.
Go ahead.
Trox is like 100% right on that. I mean, we look at Dillard being injured, and yet sucks because Dillard's injured. If Peters goes to left tackle, which I can't see him not going to, it would just be no matter what the money situation is. We might be better with Peters at left tackle and then Pryor at guard anyway. But long term, I mean, it is a huge failure that there's nobody there. Like that's a first round draft pick that is nothing right now. Sidney Jones, second round draft pick, nothing. Derek Barnett, I mean, besides the playoffs in 2017, has not done anything but get hurt. Another first-round draft pick that we're not seeing anything from. So now we got to sign all these guys, right? All these free agents. Now our cap is, I mean, it's hell going into next year, and we got to restructure and do all this stuff. It's horrible, and it's hard to get excited about a guy, like he said, that isn't even on the field. I mean, year 3, and we haven't seen like anything from Andre Dillard. It's going to be at one of the most important positions on the team. It's not.
I think about Andre Dillard. They loved his mobility. I know the analytics folk were happy about Andre Dillard, what he brought to the
Freaking hate
table.
that word.
But my thing about Andre Dillard was I didn't know his functional strength would be there in year 1. I thought he was going to take some time to develop. You saw him get worked physically. That him anchoring down was an issue. But, I think his movement skills were something to be impressed with. A lot of the beats were like, yeah, he looked apart when they had him compared to like Big V and where he stood as a rookie, and a lot of the beats were like, yeah, he looked like he belongs there. I think some of the things that you saw with him, like the mental part aspect, I remember in camp when we were there, he blew up. He was like in tears, and Doug Peters had to sit him on the side. These are the small things that you look at and you're like, all right, where is Dillard at mentally? I know Stoutland talked about his mental game, his football IQ, him counting steps, and he was very cerebral. But right now, it's like you don't know where his development is. He's a little bit older, and now we're going to year 3. But hearing about Jack Driscoll, that's been interesting. Drafted on day 3, and he's also he got some praise from Brandon Graham as well. So how are you guys feeling about Jack Driscoll?
Good,
I mean,
man. I told you. I think
you can
he's
only
the right
get
guard
so
of the future.
excited. Am I right? There's a reason that he was taken on day 3 versus Andre Dillard taken on day 1. I mean, it's a situation where, yeah, we got to deal with it and we're going to hope for the best for it. But I don't feel as comfortable as having a guy that was our first round pick who we were expecting to take over that position for the next decade. The plan fell through and now we're on plan B. It's never good to be on plan B.
Paul from Facebook says Danny Watkins bust. Are we at that level already?
No,
Let's not go there yet. Let's not go
Not
there.
Not yet.
Well,
I
I just think it's real disappointing that it's obviously any NFL player going from rookie year to year 2 is like a big step for them, and the fact that Andre Dillard's not going to get any of that work in year 2, where he can finally show what he has. Maybe it might have been very little this training camp, but the fact that he's missing out on the entire season this year, it's almost detrimental to the team, So
100% is.
Yeah. So hopefully he can come back stronger, but I don't know. I mean, from what he was struggling all camp, so we'll see how he comes back. But I'm not too optimistic about it.
It's crazy. Are we waiting?
Getting pissed.
Are we waiting for the second resurrection of Brandon Brooks or something? Because I don't see it happening. But is another miracle going to happen with this guy?
We need a
workout
replacement.
videos. You know what I mean? He already had one resurrection. He's going to have another one. It's crazy.
Yeah. His body gets put back together with faster than anybody I've ever seen, man. His recovery time. We gotta take some blood plasma from him or something like that. Start passing it around the locker room.
We're pumping that in Dillard.
Everyone's talking about all the negatives and the one position that's kind of and some of the negatives from the draft aspect, but you have to look at the wide receiver position and where we drafted, whether it be first round. Jalen Reagor has shined. He's really played the part of that first round draft pick. Then you go down to John Hightower and Quez Watkins, day 3 guys who have shined. And Jimmy Kempsey today was like, look, I'm not gonna lie, like he's looked phenomenal. He's looked really well, Hightower. And here he is against. I mean, that's against Darius Slay, and he. There's a couple plays that he made Russell Douglas look extremely out of place. So that quickness, that second gear has showed through. So you have to look at those guys, the rookie wide receivers, as something that's been exciting in training camp.
Listen, what was it, Jimmy Kempsky that brought it to our attention, or was it our own Prime? He's been riding the John Hightower train.
He said he's like, can we talk about John Hightower starting over Reagor? And can we he jinxed fucking Reagor, man.
Yeah.
I know Prime is not on the show, but we have to do what, guys? You're supposed to answer this question.
What's up?
The white snake dance?
Put him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
We missed that ball, bro. We missed that one.
I'm sure did.
Yeah.
But I mean, Quez Watkins and Jonathan Hightower, 2 vertical threats, but they're showing that they're more than just vertical threats. So obviously, Howie Roseman did fairly well on those picks.
I think Quez is going to be the best out of the 2 of them, honestly. Looking at some of the stuff he's done in the red zone, he's not just a speed guy. I mean, I like Hightower too, but I think Quez he's got pretty much. And look, I know everybody's gonna look at me like I'm crazy here, but he's got skills close to an Antonio Brown type player. And if we can get half of that, I think we'll be okay. Again, and have a guy like Hightower who's also fast. This offense, from looking turtle slow last year to now, really, really quick, is going to help us, and a lot of teams aren't going to see it coming.
I can't believe you said the words. You said the AB words.
Yeah, man. I mean,
no, I hear what you're saying. Like, what is that? What you think separates Quez from John Hightower? You think he has that type of skill set?
I think he's a little bit. So, like a lot of these guys that we get that are fast, we get really excited about. I think of Shelton Gibson, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, when Shelton Gibson was pressed, or like this guy was, unless he wasn't touched at all, like he wasn't
He got no
making
muscle.
plays. Yeah, but Quez
Yeah.
Watkins is a dude. He's fearless. Again, and highlights are highlights, right? You're going to see all their best stuff. You're not going to see their bad stuff. But to see him in the red zone, fighting for balls, getting open in the red zone, kind of like Antonio Brown did, and having that speed as well. Again, it's not that I like him so much over Hightower. I just think the toughness aspect of it, I think he has over him by a couple notches, maybe.
Okay.
And again, I hate to use the AB comparison because it's ridiculous because he hasn't played one snap in the NFL. But I mean, it reminds me a little bit of him.
I mean, his speed does pop. Like, I mean, you can go watch a play. I guess it's against North Texas, and he's running like like a deeper slant route, and he catches it, and you could see him gear up and gear down and go untouched as he just weaves through these guys. And that breakaway ability, I think he's still raw in the route tree department, but I think he shows the ability to go up and catch and show late hands, and he's made some great catches out there. So I think he's still raw, but I think his ability is shining through at practice.
Yeah.
How many wide receivers are we keeping now? Does that change at all?
I think it does, because if you look at it, Alshon Jeffrey might start on the PUP list, and Al Rieger is going to be hurt. So does Deontay Burnett, someone like that, be a sixth receiver? But in the same token, someone asked earlier, what are the new practice squad? You can have 16 people in the practice squad, and 6 of those guys can be veterans. So you could possibly stash a wide receiver there and bring them up on game day. But this is pretty scary now. But I'm also really intrigued by J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I know people want to call for my head, but he's been improving, and it's much better than hearing he's doing bad. And he needs to be that X receiver if Alshon Jeffrey's out. So I'm still okay with Rieger out. I'm pissed because he's a first-round pick, but I like our receivers, and I like I'm sorry, Chris was your name? I like what he was saying about Quez Watkins and John Hightower. Good stuff. And, Quez, if he works on that route running, oh, man, I could definitely see what Chris is saying there. And, John Hightower, 6'2", a couple inches on him, and he's another guy. If he works on his route running a little, his hands, these kids could be pretty phenomenal. So it's going to be a blessing in disguise seeing them get a little extra work.
I guess where I was going with that was, do we need another tight end, like another blocking tight end? Does that help with the offensive line? Because we can't rely on Ertz blocking. Goddard's he can do his own. I'm not saying he's the greatest blocker, but what is it? We have this guy. I can't say. I'm going to butcher his last name. We got Noah and Caleb Wilson. They're the only two guys on the depth chart. Yeah, I can't say that last name. I'm not even going to try. But that's where I was getting at. Do we cut out a wide receiver slot for another tight end slot just to help the line? I don't know. That's just where my mind was going on that.
We got Swoops recently.
Tyrone Swoops out of Texas. Oh, well, from the Seahawks, but played for the Longhorns.
Yep.
Okay.
Man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's what else is on you guys' minds in here?
Well, I just want to reiterate what Chris said. I think the Quez Watkins pick has a chance to potentially be like a big, I guess, a steal, you can say it, along with Hightower. The fact that we get those guys who are already looking good in practice. Unfortunately, there's no preseason to see what kind of where they can really improve on. But I feel like with the speed that Quez has and the ability that Hightower has, I mean, it's definitely going to help out this offense with two things that we were definitely needing last year with the receiving core got hurt. So I'm pretty excited on those two guys.
Absolutely.
Now, Jordan from YouTube says, what do we go for here since Reagor is out for 4 weeks? Where do we go here?
Well, I think maybe, J-Jaw probably start. Man up. He's going to have to man up. Use that.
That's all you're going to have to be able to do.
From what I read about what they've been doing at practice is they've been lining up D-Jack and J-Jaw with Reagor and J-Jaw kind of filling in for each other, and then Ward in the slot. I think that's what you were going to see anyway until Reagor could take over for J-Jaw. And then Hightower and Quez are going to have to kind of fill that Reagor, that speed that Reagor would bring in there, I would guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully they can get through those 2 or 3 games without him. But again, this is a guy that hasn't played a snap in the NFL. As exciting as he is, and as exciting as I've been for him, I've been his biggest advocate. We still don't know exactly what we have and what we have with these other guys. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to get 100% negative on this.
I really think the number one thing that's on my mind, like it's all well and good. Like Carson has to have the time to be able to get these balls to the receivers. And I am legitimately concerned about this offensive line right now. And I see how the defensive line is pretty much dominating every practice. And I think to myself, is that a product of our defensive line being that dominant? Or is that a product of our offensive line being weak? I fear it's the latter.
I think the defensive line is legit, dude. I mean,
I'm not saying that they're not legit, but I'm saying that I think that it could be both. That we've got a weak offensive line and a strong defensive line.
Imagine being like Jack Driscoll, like one of these rookies here, having to go up against Fletcher Cox, like Matt Pryor.
Guess what? In a few weeks, that's reality.
But I'm saying like these guys are making them better. Like
maybe not week one.
You go against another team, maybe not week one, but going up against Fletcher Cox can make you better. But C Squiz from Twitter says mostly worried about left tackle. I mean,
yes, obviously
that's definitely a concern for everyone. We still don't know what we have in Mailata. Mailata is a project at this moment.
There's your answer right there, Gail. There's a project. Come on.
O-line is a problem right now.
Yeah, and it's concerning because the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, we're going up against pretty legit defensive lines. Other than the Bengals, but you got the Redskins. Their defensive line is pretty much first round picks. Yeah. Then week 2. You got the Rams, Aaron Donald, and they're dominant also on that side of the ball. So I mean, they're gonna have to figure it out quick, and it's concerning. But hopefully, they find a way to get it all worked out.
Now, Will from Facebook, he says it will be interesting to see how this decimated line will affect Miles Sanders' breakout season. We've all been projecting for him. That's does this injuries across the offensive line affect Miles Sanders moving forward?
Now let me ask this first.
100%.
If everything gets worked out with JP at left tackle, do you feel better with him at left tackle than you would Dillard?
Yep. Well, maybe not Dillard. I wanted to see what Dillard had at least,
I would feel more comfortable on like week 1 and like him ready to go. But as far as like I would still rather have Dillard in there just so he's getting that development and he's getting ready to take over that role.
Sure.
But like as far as immediate production, I would probably feel more comfortable with Peters.
Yeah. Now, as he says, definitely move Peters to left tackle. He needs to protect the blind side more than interior. I mean, I think we lost Dillard, we lost the project and how we're developing him all along the way. But you have to think that Jason Peters solidifies that spot again.
He needs to.
He has to.
As long as he doesn't go down or keep false starting. I'll take a couple false starts.
Yo, are we going to see Jason Peters out on his driveway lifting weights, asking for more money? Is it what we got around the corner?
This is a possibility, man.
Damn, man.
So are you guys
concerned
buying
about it?
I got the Fugazi injury meter going up, and I'm not buying Carson Wentz got a hamstring or something. I'm going with he's not hurt. He's not letting him go with that offensive line that's out there in scrimmages right now. Let the young guys go at it. I'm not buying that he's hurt at all. So
I agree.
Soft tissue.
That's what I read into to say when I saw he was out today with whatever,
soft tissue
linking injury. He saw whatever Fugazi injury. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I wish they would have used illness instead of soft issue though. It's tissue.
Yeah, maintenance day. I almost wrote maintenance day when I was reporting it. Then I was like, they're actually giving it something. Oh, sure.
Now, Michael DeAndre from Facebook says, how do you guys feel about the defense overall? I've been hearing they look great.
Yeah,
Michael, come with some positive.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about the defensive line dominating every week. That's going to be
cornerback too,
and cornerback also.
There's so much swag on that defensive side of the ball, man.
Oh,
There's so much swag over there.
Only thing that concerns me is the second cornerback.
All right, why don't we go around the room? A couple players that excite you guys from the defensive crew. Trox, who do you got?
Well, obviously,
One player.
I like the Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills got some swag, and Darius Slay loves himself some Darius Slay.
Evan, what do you got?
I mean, the obvious one would be the addition of Darius Slay this offseason. I'm loving Javon Hargraves. I'm getting excited to think about what that interior pressure is going to look like with him next to Fletcher.
Sure. Yes, sir.
And Gail, I'm riding your coattails, man. I really think that Josh Sweat is ready for a breakout season. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year.
Oh, Jimmy, who do you got?
I love everything they said. Slay, all those guys. Hargrave is a huge addition. Nickel Roby Coleman's another one I like. But Will Parks is the one I really am excited about. I think in those sub packages with the 3 safeties, you're going to see that guy help as sort of that dime linebacker where people feel we're really weak at linebacker. I think he's going to help a lot there.
Puga, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the interior defensive line: Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson. You got, and when Hargrave comes back, those 3 right away lined up next to each other. I mean, who's gonna block that? Who's gonna stop that?
Yeah, that's tough.
Nobody.
And Chris, who are you looking forward to?
I'm gonna go with the White Snake. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you look good. You look good today.
I was waiting for that one.
Listen. This secondary, it is hard not to get excited about this secondary. Compared to what we've had in years past, I mean, Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, he's going to be fine at second corner. The guy has a shitload of heart, as we saw last year. Nickel Roby Coleman, I mean, what an underrated pickup that was. Will Parks, don't sleep on Kayvon Wallace, rookie out of Clemson. I mean, this kid he's got the it factor written all over him. No one's even mentioned Cravon LeBlanc. He's still there. Even though Rasul Douglas can't beat my 10-year-old daughter, he has at least got some game time, in case anything bad happens. A lot of swag on the secondary. It's hard not to get excited about them, especially when you have the defensive line that you have. Linebacker is a little bit iffy, but man, this secondary's got me excited about this defense.
Let me get a.
Hey, you know what? I just want to say it's kind of funny now after all these years of not having a decent secondary. Everyone's excited about the secondary now as a whole.
Yeah. And if I can just say,
DC Darrow's in the comments, aka Avonte LeBlanc.
There you go.
Show the man respect.
And look, this guy's not a player, but Marquand Manuel, the coach, the DB coach, he was Atlanta's defensive coordinator when they, of course, collapsed in the Super Bowl that year, but still they got there. And he coached the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
I mean, so he knows talent, right? So
Right.
I mean, this guy, he's an important piece as well, man. Big time.
Yeah,
Big
that's
time.
that's one of the most legendary secondaries in football history. I mean,
Yeah.
for him to be a part of helping organize that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So let me get a quick poll around the room. I just want to gauge how good you guys really think this defense is. So A, B, or C. A, do you think this Eagles team could end up as a top 5 defense this year? B, between 6 and 10, or C, 10 and beyond?
I'll go B for now.
I think they could be a top 10 team.
I think they could.
I'm going
Possibly
A.
top 5 if they stay healthy.
Yeah, and how good that defensive line is. So,
So if they keep teams under 17 points, that's a top 10 defense, you'd say?
What was that?
Yeah.
yeah, definitely for sure.
For sure.
If you're keeping a team under 17 points a game, that's a top 10 defense, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm going A. I feel like
There you go, Gal. With
it
your
can
chest.
it can't be a top 5 defense as long as if this defensive line eats like I think they're gonna eat, and you got Slay on the back end. I mean, it's a big deal. Like, come on, man. We had cornerbacks playing 9 yards back. Now all this
I was just thinking that, Gal. As long as
Don't do that to me.
I still have nightmares about that.
Yeah,
For
don't.
Panthers.
Oh, God.
So
Uh-huh.
Z says the best I felt of the secondary since the great Jim Johnson era.
High praise.
Lido,
Agree.
Sheldon,
Praise.
That's
Dawkins.
very high praise, brother.
I'm going A, dude. A all the way, man. Like, this defensive line is going to be good. When Javon Hargrave gets back in there, Malik Jackson, who's got a chip on his shoulder. And look, again, something you guys might kind of be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But Joe Osman,
No,
has
man,
been-
that's a
he has
good.
been.
That's
He's
a
been
good one, man.
performing.
That's a
I
good
mean,
one.
he's been like training camp superhero, and then he gets hurt right before the season for the
Yeah.
past 2 years. It looks like he's going to be ready to go, knock on wood. That's more depth there. They're kind of weak on that other defensive end where Derek Barnett, who knows what you get with him. They could probably use somebody else there as well, but I still think, I mean, this line is going to be awesome. The secondary is 150 times better than it was last year. It's an A all the way to me, I think.
Very nice.
Yeah, and Osman is a kind of a sleeper. I actually filmed when he got injured. NBC 10 actually put it on probably a couple weeks ago. They did a story on him. Osman was like back at home at his family's like bakery or something. He was sitting there like just working at the family business. And the thing about him, he just is all business. He came back from the injury and has been working the edge. Also, Casey Tuhill, you know, a guy who drafted in one of our last draft picks, is actually shining out there, flashing as well. But
yeah, and he's been consistently showing up throughout training camp as well. Like that's not just like a flash. I mean, like him performing 1 or 2 days. He's been consistent throughout training camp.
And can they get anything out of Sharif Miller this year, or is he just going to be one of those 4th round picks that nothing happens with? I mean,
I haven't heard his name much.
I'm a little.
He had a good day today. He finally did something. Yeah, he had like a run-stopping play. That's about it, man. So not looking too great for him. Tuhill and Osman. You know, Osman's name I have on my 53. I think that's a great one you brought up there, Chris, because we need edge rushers. And if this guy could stay healthy for once, we'd see what we've seen the last 2 years. So maybe we're okay if these guys stay healthy. But yeah, I love that you guys say top 5 because I agree with you if we stay healthy.
Now, Paul from Facebook, he has a question. He says, how many big plays for Slay this year? How many picks for big play Slay this year?
I'm going to go 5.
How many picks or how many pick 6?
How many picks?
Ooh.
I like that, Trox. I'm going to say 5, and one of them is going to be a pick 6.
Yeah.
To the house.
Yeah, I'm going to go about 5 because who knows how many times they're going to throw to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can lock down that side of the field for sure.
I'm going 6. I'm going 6.
And that'll still be the most that we've had in a while.
I like 7. That's a good number.
I'll stick with 4. I think like whoever just mentioned right there, hopefully they stay away. We're not used to that, but hopefully they stay away from him.
Paul's feeling confident, man. Paul thinks he's got magnets.
More than 10. Damn.
Take that bet.
Where you at?
I think it's Asante Samuel that wouldn't like that. You know? Another shout out for Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
Temple alum. And if anyone actually was watching some of the stuff they were talking about Sean Bradley, you know, he wore the single digit from Temple. When you wear single digit, that means something at Temple. He also does his homework, and he actually, you know, goes to Instagram, goes to Facebook, finds out a lot about other opposing players' girlfriends, and talks a lot of shit during the game. That's
second level thinking, though.
Yes,
that is creative between the ears there.
That's like doing your homework.
Yeah,
I guess his father was a big Lawrence Taylor fan back in the day. So I mean, there you go. That's all you got to say.
Chris would know this, or that's a good heel move right there. That's
absolutely. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Ooh.
I love it.
This is a good one as
heel
well.
Turn.
Sanders. Do we see Sanders crack over 1,000 yards this year in strictly rushing? I think between I think it's pretty safe.
I don't think in this offense.
If this line doesn't get decimated.
Yeah,
exactly. We just spent
that really is all dependent. Line. It's all dependent on the offensive line for sure.
It's interesting about it. Like I feel like, and I think the fantasy community thinks that Miles Sanders is going to get a big chunk of this offense. You think they bring in another player to, you know, if you think about all the running backs on our group, who's the only 3-down guy that really solidifies that role to you? I mean, Corey Clement might give you something. Boston Scott will give you something on 3rd down as well. But this whole running game is really Miles Sanders to take.
Yeah.
If he goes down, that's not good.
What did you say?
If he goes
don't
down,
say that,
that's
Jimmy.
not good.
Don't repeat that.
He asked if we should bring someone in. So I think you should, because without him, dude, what are you really confident with this running back committee? Boston Scott, Corey Clement, and maybe Elijah Holyfield or Michael Warren. I mean, I love Sanders, but hey, man, he's already hurt. So I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not having depth behind places. So I'd bring in Devontae Freeman if I were them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised they haven't done that. The only thing I can think of is maybe all the rumors about Corey Clement looking like he was just got picked up from 2017 in a time machine and came back. I mean, I like when we went to the Super Bowl, that three that we had, they all had different styles. LeGarrette Blount coming in there, getting those short yards. I liked that, and I thought maybe they'd pick up somebody that could do that. Now, I look at Mike Warren from Cincinnati, and I thought, this could be the guy. Apparently, he hasn't done anything in camp. So, yeah, Sanders, for some reason, has to sit out a couple games. What do they really have? You're looking at Corey Clement and Boston Scott.
Yeah, it looks like the scraps that we were putting together last season at the end of last season.
Miles Sanders actually said that Corey Clement is looking like Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And that's an interesting comment. You know, people don't just say it just to be saying it sometimes, but I feel
It
like
is his teammate though, man.
That's
You have
true.
to take it with a grain of salt. They're gonna be supportive of each other.
if I'm a starting running back, I'm not saying jack shit about my guys that are coming behind me. Like, I'm not calling it Super Bowl Corey.
No.
Bro, this is my show right here. And
Now, what do you?
Maybe
you
he's
guys-
got the recognition that he knows he's got the reins in the situation.
you know,
What do you guys
Trying to
think?
be a
Of,
cordial gentleman.
what do you guys think of Adrian Killins getting that fourth spot? Do you think it's going to be him or Elijah Holyfield? It looks like they're
I'll
trying to do
definitely
anything to get Killins.
I've been really excited about Killins, man. His speed is just next level.
and he does have a nickname already, AK-47.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty badass nickname.
That is a
Like,
great, that's pretty nice. I think
Put
he's
it on a
got
t-shirt.
breakaway
Yeah.
speed. You know, they're trying to like see what he's got at wide receiver.
Yep.
If you go back and watch a lot of his plays at UCF, the dude can just take off from anywhere. And you know, whether it's a screen, whether it's out of the backfield catching a pass, he puts one foot in the ground, he's gone.
yeah.
I hope they can find a room for him on the team because he's not going to sit on the practice squad long before somebody else comes and gets him.
The only good thing is you can lock players this year because of COVID.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now, Z says, how many running backs do we keep?
I'm gonna go 4.
Yeah, I think it's
You
got to
got
be four.
4 at least, right?
Four.
Full horsemen.
4? And which 4? Which 4, guys? Which 4?
Miles
I'll go
Sanders.
Holyfield as the last.
I would go Miles Sanders, Corey Clement,
Boston Scott.
Boston Scott, and Killins. Yep.
Okay.
If I'm
feel
making
like-
my own team, those are the guys I'm going with.
As much as I like Killins, I think it's going to be Holyfield.
I thought
mean,
Holyfield was going to be that shortage guy with the big
Yeah.
power. Am I wrong on that? That's what I thought
Well,
they
he's-
got him there for to check him out. I thought he
And
was
he's getting
that big
better at
stocky
pass
guy.
blocking too.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah,
I
so
read something that said he's like the most intense guy on the team too.
Yeah, man. So
You know,
Doug's excited about him.
And this
Yeah,
this is one of the comments we do. We normally get a Mulata F fullback comment
Yeah.
in almost every show.
every year, brother.
In every show, maybe someone's like off the top rope with
I didn't a few weeks ago. I played a video of the fridge running through the line.
Oh,
did.
And I was
Right.
suggesting
Super
that my
Bowl?
Lotta do
Yeah,
the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be fun.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
At this point, getting his ass kicked by Casey Toohill doesn't look too promising at that.
No. And keeping my Lotta around for that one play to happen all season long. You know, that's not
maybe
worth the roster
we
spot.
can get Sean Bradley to look up Mylotta's Instagram and who his girlfriend
Yeah.
is.
Get
Piss him off,
fired
light
up.
a fire under his ass. And,
Yo,
you know.
all I want to see is Sean
That'd be pretty
Bradley
killer.
talk about his like little ukulele. Talk shit about his ukulele. His
Yeah.
little guitar.
Break it.
Just go in
Break
there with
his
some
ukulele
scissors
over
and
his
the
knee.
strings.
Hey, Mulata, yo,
You'll be
ukulele.
able to hear them a lot better.
But he just insult him in an Australian accent too. I think that'd be kind of hilarious.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I want him to go up to Malata, ask him, "Can you play me a song?" And right before he starts it, grabs that ukulele out of his hands and breaks it over his knee and says, "Do something."
Oh.
A little off topic. Did everybody have their fantasy drafts yet?
I just had mine earlier today. Gail actually
Breaking
was,
news, fellas! I quit all of my fantasy teams. I am
Whoa,
done.
who's this
I'm
guy?
out. I'm out.
He's done.
I for one am
I'm
not.
out.
Even though I had the most crushing season last year, where I was in the championship in 2 leagues and ended up losing by a sum of less than 1 point between the two of them. Pretty brutal. But yeah, I had mine earlier, and Gail was kind enough to be on the phone with me while I was drafting, so I had that in my back pocket.
There you go.
Like a lot of my friends will call me up and they're like, sit with me during the draft, and then we'll just go over the pick. I'm a dork
What do
like
you
that.
charge?
I'm
What
a
do you
dork.
charge, Gail?
Great, man.
Gail's the Howie Roseman of.
Hey, yo, I used to work at Roto World, so
Let's hope
I'm
not.
a good guy to have in your back pocket during the draft. You know what I mean? So if you got a draft, you need to be, you need to rent a brother. Log into rentabrother.com. Here for everyone's draft.
Gail. Use
got
code
mine next
4th
week.
and John for 20% off.
Yeah.
Wait, there's more. Chris, you have you did your draft yet this year?
I've got mine next week. I'm going to keep you on speed dial.
What number are you picking?
So I don't know yet. We pick out of a hat every year. Yep.
Interesting. Cougar, you?
Haven't joined one yet, so hopefully the next couple of days I'll find something.
And that was translation. Puga is like really lonely, and he would like to be invited into a draft. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, you know what? I don't really play fantasy, but I do enjoy you guys talking about it. And everybody has their own little thing going on, which is cool. So keeps the sport alive.
You sound lonely. So we're gonna invite you to a draft somehow.
But anyways,
Yeah, but we talked about it. I told you I wasn't doing fantasy anymore, but I did say I would do like a daily thing with you guys every week.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the season-long ones anymore. No, I'm out.
That's that when you stop playing fantasy and stop playing video games. It's like
Yeah.
this is how you
That's
get
What do
old.
you mean, grow up?
It's like when
I'm
you
not
start.
doing that, Dad.
Is that what that's called?
Nah, that's not true. Actually, today I bought the PGA 2K21, man, and I haven't opened up yet, but I can't wait. I think you got it too, Evan. So
do,
I haven't
I do.
completely bailed
It's
out on
actually
video.
crazy how much my guy looks just like me.
Y'all be buying golf games.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Tiger Woods, y'all.
Golf? Y'all play golf video games?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I paid. I split the game with my buddy. I paid a full $30 for that.
That's interesting, man. I never thought about buying golf games. What
I mean,
Tiger?
they don't-
You never
Tiger-
even
I
thought
played
of.
one back in the day. Tiger was fun.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Yo,
No, well, no, it's
I used
no
to
longer
make- I used-
Tiger now. It's made by 2K.
That's how I
Made
used
by
to get my
2K,
beer money. I
2K21.
would play skins on Tiger Woods. That was my
Golfing
beer
game.
money back in the day. Yeah, you
Oh,
play
yeah.
for money on skins.
Oh yeah, man.
I
Some great parties
gotta
playing
get something.
fucking Tiger
I gotta get
Woods.
something off my chest real quick here because I feel dirty.
Go for it, bro.
I feel like I gotta repent. I've drafted
Take
in
your
this
shirt off.
fantasy league. I've taken Zeke Elliott consecutively in the past
Mm.
2 seasons. I just don't feel too great about myself. But it's the way that he falls to me.
Dirty.
I've been drafting like 3rd, 4th.
Man.
Sounds
Where
like
I'm at, man.
sounds like that's a personal issue.
That sucks, dude.
What am I supposed to do? Well,
Quit.
do you guys pass on talent on your draft boards because of team pride? Do you?
When it
No,
comes to the
I do.
Cowboys, yes.
I do.
Look,
Yeah.
listen. So what I love, sometimes I love drafting Cowboys because it's like if he does well, okay, it works for you, and if he doesn't, F him because he's a Dallas Cowboy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
That's a positive way of looking at it.
yeah, it's like
Hey,
you're
yo,
happy. You're happy either way.
hey, Eric,
Fuck the Cowboys.
if you want to send me your draft, let me know your roster. Hit me up on Twitter. I'll check it out.
Oh, your inbox is about to be full, Gail.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think of my roster, bro?
Hey, Gail.
Hey, I'm a dork like
Mhm.
that, man. I'm just like, yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
I do help out people, like random co-workers. I'll help them with the rosters.
Ooh.
It's all good.
Mark coming with the heat.
Ooh.
Dude, I mean, I
Uppercut.
have they have every right to be talking shit right now. I'm out here drafting freaking Cowboys, bro.
Yo, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man.
I'm a mercenary.
Squiz says you got to win, bro, especially for money. When the money's on the table, it's all about business.
That's exactly right. That's what
I
we're
ain't gonna be
doing.
mad at you for it.
But cut me open, I bleed green says that's why you lose, Evan.
He's probably not.
My man.
But as long as Dak Prescott.
Well, I mean, like,
I thought-
on the show we haven't really talked about the that's those are our rivals, our hated rivals. But do the Dallas Cowboys? Is anything about the Dallas Cowboys offense?
The wide receivers definitely concern me, man.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of really brought to the forefront of my mind just earlier when I was doing this draft. And I'm looking at them with Amari Cooper, who's being slept on because they got CeeDee Lamb. And then Michael Gallup is a great third option. Blake Jarwin seems like he could be a good tight end. And then you got Zeke.
I think
It's a solid
I think
offense.
it's more McCarthy. I think McCarthy's going to be good.
I think the pieces themselves, regardless of the coach, is a lot.
I think those are some really talented wide receivers. I think they'll play together well. CeeDee Lamb, I think he should be an exciting player for them to develop. And then you got to worry about Zeke. I mean, if you could stretch the field and have these guys crossing all over the place, and you got to worry about a Zeke up the middle.
Mike McCarthy doesn't run the ball, and the Amari Cooper. And again, a lot of what I say is probably because I hate the Cowboys, but Amari Cooper has proven to be a bitch. Like in the biggest game of the year last year, he wasn't on the field. Gallup's good, but is he? I mean, it's not anything I'm like losing sleep over. And CeeDee Lamb again. He's going to be good, but he's a rookie. I haven't seen him play one snap in the NFL yet. As far as Mike McCarthy goes, is he going to make him a better team? Absolutely. But this is a guy who won one Super Bowl with one of the best quarterbacks in the league and then couldn't get along with him towards the end. So, I mean, and he's going to be Jerry Jones's puppet. So Dallas is going to be Dallas, just like they always are. They lost to our practice squad last year with Zeke, with Tony Pollard, who was supposed to be the second coming, with Amari Cooper, with Dak Prescott. I have no worries. I'm not losing any sleep over the Dallas Cowboys this year. None at all.
Okay.
Speaking of Cowboys going to have to Cowboy, who's in jail right now? Anybody in jail? Any jail updates from the Cowboys?
What do they have? Alden Smith?
Yeah.
Back from the
He hasn't played in years, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. But the Cowboys have to worry about us when since we're down a receiver at the moment.
You know who they're going to call, Gail? He coming back.
J-Matt, that's J-Matt. If you guys didn't, shout out to Trox for that awesome meme, by the way. Everybody loves some J-Matt during these times.
No. Everybody, you're misspelling everybody. It's Carson Wentz loves J-Matt, and that's pretty much where the list ends.
Doug Peterson, too.
Yeah.
True.
I think, Carson always gets a little chub for J-Matt.
You're gonna send that at 2 a.m.
He just likes doing that celebration, that fake high five with the
the Bible circle got a little bit bigger, man.
Hey, Ev, your mic over there. It's a little funky. Do a little funky time. I mean, before we get out there, I mean, if there's any questions from the fans in the comments, let us know. There's one comment here. No to J-Matt. Anything on your guys' minds before we get out of here?
I got a question for the panel real fast. Is there any other team in the NFC East that you're even remotely worried about? Like even a little bit?
I think Cowboys.
Even with all our
no.
Cowboys?
I'm concerned about the Cowboys.
Like why though? Like
the offense to me
If I had to
seems
pick one, I'd
complete.
pick them, but
well, but here's the thing, like because of CeeDee Lamb, is that why? Because
No,
that's
I
the
mean
only-
it's all the other factors. It's the wide receivers, the running back. They have a top running back too.
but
They have 3 good wide receivers. I compare
top
like
offense last year.
Yeah,
But-
I mean,
but listen, top
like-
offense that couldn't beat our practice squad.
I love
La-
it. Hell yeah.
Last year, look, we just said maybe 15 minutes ago that what we loved about our defense was our D line
Yep.
and our secondary.
mhm.
That cancels out their wide receivers and their running back, in my opinion. And they've got Dak Prescott
I
playing quarterback. So
I- as long as the Cowboys don't have a quarterback that strikes fear in me, I'm not too much worried about them. I mean, you saw how he played in that last game. Chris just brought it up. The biggest game of the season, and he looked awful. He looked awful.
And you know what I love is the guys that say, "Well, his shoulder hurt that game," but the next game he threw like 5 touchdowns and had over 300 yards against the Redskins. So,
my thing with Dallas is I'm just more like I've always said, I'm like, once they got rid of their head coach, I'm like, then they start doing some stuff right. Like now they got rid of their old head coach and they got a new thing. I'm like, a new head coach. I'm like, all right, now they're seeing where the problem lies. I think the one thing about Dallas is they haven't had the offseason to actually get these guys rolling like they, the OTAs. And you're looking around the league or the NFC East, everyone else has new coaches. So it does take time to adapt to new coaches and have them implement their system to the way that they really want. You look at the Giants up there. Wasn't their head coach having their?
Oh my God!
Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but having Ron Rivera in the division. I mean, I'm not really too worried about Washington this year, but he's a good coach. I think ultimately in the long run, he could potentially turn that team around.
Now, Erickson don't scare me. They added Jason Garrett to the coaching staff.
What if Jason Garrett actually ends up being a pretty good OC up there? Even though the Giants aren't very good, but I'm just saying, being held back by Jerry Jones.
Now, Will from Facebook says McCarthy makes them better, but still never scared of them. Go Birds.
Go Bird. That's right.
I'm just scared of our team.
Now,
that's it. Yes, I'm scared of our team more than I'm
not scared of anything. I'm scared of us. Come on, get it right. That's all I'm scared about. Come on, get it right. You're not getting it right now. Come on.
I'll second that, Trox. Paul from across the pond says, before we check out, what's the situation with your season tickets?
I'm about as broke gets, so mine don't exist.
I'm right there with you.
I was looking for what you're talking about. Oh, my season.
My family made the right move. We opted out, so it doesn't matter now because you can't even go. So we're good.
Yeah.
See what happens next year.
I think you're just gonna have to.
Hugo, are you going to Dallas?
If it's feasible, yeah, I'm gonna go. But I'm also looking at Arizona too. But I'm not sure what they're gonna do out there either. But Dallas, I am. But now since I can't go to Philadelphia, I'm looking at Dallas now. So
interesting.
That's why I started looking at cities that are letting us go to the games. That might be the only time I can get to go to an Eagles game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
good point.
Now, before we get out of here, Evan, any last words?
Other than just like pump the brakes on your nervousness with this team. I know that we kind of had the whole scare tactic with talking about injuries this entire show, but ultimately, every team is going through the same exact thing we're going through with this preseason. So, I think everybody's on the same playing field.
Okay. I feel better about myself, Evan. Thank you.
This guy.
Great.
Jimmy, what are you thinking?
Well, honestly, what's bothering me is the injuries, and more specifically, left tackle. We are doomed at Matt Pryor, and that's who's going to be the left tackle if Jason Peters doesn't move over there. So give him the money, and I understand it's a dick move by him to most people's opinions. That's great, whatever you think. But we need a guy that's going to play left tackle, and he knows that. And we are going, dude. Mailata's getting taken by Tuhill and Sweat. It's not good. It's not going to be. I talked about Prince in the future. Jack Driscoll's more of a guard. I see him on the right side. So I'm concerned about left tackle. I'm a little scared, Evan. I'm sorry. I try to keep it positive, man, but I'm really scared about left tackle with 1 week of training and then actually getting ready for a game the next week.
Yeah,
totally warranted.
Evan had me here, and then Jimmy took out the leg. He swept the legs. Now, Puga, where are you going to leave me before we get out of here?
I'm still a little nervous about that offensive line, Gale. I'm sorry. I mean, there's a lot of questions going on with Jason Peters as far as them moving over, like Jimmy said. So I'm they got to get it. They got to get it together real quick because, I mean, that Washington defensive line is no joke. And then on top of that, again, you play the Rams right after that. So you're going up against two top-notch defensive lines back-to-back weeks. So, Jason Peters, please just give us a break if you can. If not, we'll give you the money anyways. go out there, go out there and ball out, and hopefully help out this team.
Yeah, Chris.
So just when you thought that the cornerbacks and Dikembe Mutombo were the only ones doing this, I'm coming at you and doing this as well because, look, yes, the offensive line is an absolute mess right now. But
Thank you.
Jason Peters he's going to be at left tackle. He is absolutely going to be at left tackle. They're going to find a way to make it work. Matt Pryor is going to come in there at right guard. He's going to be fine. The other guys are going to learn. They'll probably sign somebody as well for depth. I think the offensive line is going to be okay. And look, we have every right to panic right now. That's what we do. We're Philadelphia fans. We're passionate.
That's right.
This is what we do. I don't know if there's any other fan base that is sitting here talking about their fourth string running back and their rookie wide receivers right now, 14 days away from the season starting. But I do know for a fact that we have something that no other team, at least in the NFC, has, and that is the best coach. Doug Peterson makes this whole thing work. If there's anybody that can adapt to injuries, it's him. He showed it every single year. Every single year. Look at 2017. You guys want to end this on a positive note. Look at 2017. We've talked about it to death. They're going to make a movie about it one day. Lost their franchise quarterback MVP season goes down. Middle linebacker goes down. Left tackle goes down. Hall of Fame punt return specialist and Darren Sproles goes down. But what happens? Dougie P brings it all together. A quarterback that was said to retire the year before, the Eagles' ex-coach gets to play for him. He ends up taking us to the playoffs and beating that evil empire in the Super Bowl, guys.
I got the blood pumping.
This is what this team has ever since 2017. This team, we look at it as a curse with the injuries. I'm telling you right now, it's going to all come together. I'm pumped up. I'm ready. The 2017 vibes I'm bringing back because we need it right now. We need it. We're not going to be in the stands, but look, man, we're here, and our soul and our passion is still in Philadelphia. I'm ready. Thank you for having me.
Chris got the energy pumped.
I'm pumped, baby. Go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep. Wake up out of your sleep.
I'm doing the church.
I'm ready.
I am doing church style. Chris got me hype. I was a little scared. Trox, how you? How you?
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I got to follow that, dude. What's up? No, that was great, Chris. I love it. Yeah, that was great. Now, all right, I won't talk Eagles real quick, okay? I give my love out to Chris Bosman's family, Black Panther, R.I.P. I just thought it was amazing that guy went that long fighting colon cancer, and his squad, his inner people, nobody said anything about it.
That's good.
You know what? It's hard to find people in your inner squad that keep it real and don't leak things and just keep it that way, you know? So I really love that part of the story. It's a tragic story. My kid was upset. He's a big fan. I had to explain it to him and everything like that. So, shout out to your people and your crew. You find a solid crew, it's priceless. There's nothing better than you get a solid crew you can trust and talk about anything about and not get it out there to the people. So that's my piece. You guys take care of each other and checking on your people like Gail says every week, man.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna echo that. I mean, the checking in on your people is a thing. I think Chadwick was an amazing talent. I think everyone loved Black Panther. That was like one of my favorite Marvel characters. For him to do it like he did it. 42 was amazing. I mean, I thought he was
in James Brown.
Yeah, I think he had Portier vibes, man. I think he was just, you were just seeing the tip of the iceberg with him and his talent. But yeah, that was a big loss for everyone. But as always, what can I leave with you? Every day is a struggle for some people. Get on the phone, call your people. Even if you haven't seen them in a while, just check in on people because at this day and present time, a lot of people are going through stuff. And I don't say that, I say this with all seriousness, check in on your people because you never know what people are going through. But for us and the guys, we will always talk Eagles football. We'll be talking to Eagles football on our next podcast on Tuesday. Check out our new podcast that we just dropped on Friday, talking about some of the social issues that are going on at this moment. But for us and the rest of the guys, we'll see you guys very soon. And as always, it's Fly, Eagles,
Go Birds.
Fly.